Algebra 2, lesson 99, absolute value inequalities, negative numbers, and absolute value. So we'll start with the inequalities. I'm just going to skip the book, go over here and give you guys a couple of quick pointers. Funny thing about absolute value inequalities is they always make conjunctions or disjunctions. So if we have the absolute value of x is less than a number, we'll just use 4 as the example. This is going to make, less than will always make a conjunction. So, conjunction, right? So what that's going to give us is number line, -4, +4. And then it's going, oh, whoops, sorry. That's, well, there we go. Equal to, close dots. And it's going to join the two dots in the middle. Okay, the reason for this is the absolute value of x being positive or negative values must be less than or equal to 4. So anything from -4 to 0 or 4 to 0. All right, so that's how we're staying less than. Now, let's say we had the absolute value of x is greater than or equal to +4. Well, this is going to cause a disjunction. So at -4 and +4, we will draw dots. But since it's greater than, we're going to be going outwards. Okay, so that's a disjunction. Conjunction, disjunction. This is a rule you need to memorize, just kind of like how when you divide or multiply by a negative number, you reverse the sign. We'll do a couple in practice. Let me see here. We'll take this one first. This is a good one. Say we have negative absolute value of x plus 2 is less than -2 with a domain of reals. Cool. So, first thing I want to do is I want to solve the inequality. So I'm going to subtract 2 from each side. That's going to give me negative absolute value of x is less than -4. Last thing I want to do is I want to get rid of the negative, so I'll divide by -1. Divide by -1. And then the sign flips. So that becomes greater than 4. Since it's greater than, this is going to be a disjunction. So I'll draw my number line. Got 0. Going to go to 4 and 4. Or sorry, -4 and 4. And then I'm going to put open circles since it's not equal to. And then greater than means I'm pointing outwards. All right, that one's solved. We'll do one more example since this isn't taking very long at all. I know, I'll write this one in red. Let's say we have negative absolute value of 3 plus, or sorry, of x. Where did I get 3 from? Oh, that's where I got 3 from. Greater than 0, and then the domain is going to equal integers. Integers. Okay. So, I'm going to subtract 3 from each side. I get negative absolute value of x is greater than -3. Divide each side by -1. All right, since I divide by negative, the sign reverses. So now I have absolute value of x is less than +3. And since this is less than, it's a conjunction. So I'm going to draw my number line. I've got 0. I've got -3. I've got +3. And the domain is integers. So that means I need -2, -1. I need 1 and 2. And since it's not equal to, I'm not going to put any dots at 3, but I'm going to start at the next integer. And it's a conjunction because it's less than, so I'm going to fill in all the integers in between -3 and +3. And again, I'm not putting anything at -3 or +3 because this inequality is not equal to. If I really wanted to, I could put some open circles, but those are unnecessary. It would be like writing 1x instead of x. Not wrong, just unnecessary. Okay, what else do we have for this lesson? Negative numbers and absolute value. Okay. So what they're talking about is if you solve an absolute value equation and you get the absolute value of x is less than a negative number like 3. Let's say we solved an equation and it ended up like this. This answer is not possible. Okay, and the reason why is because there are no absolute values that are less than the number 0. Okay, because it's impossible for the absolute value of x to be -4, -5, etc. And the smallest absolute value is the number 0. So since we can't have absolute values that equal negative numbers, if you ever get an inequality like this one, or even if it's greater than, there's nothing we can graph here. And the reason why it doesn't work for greater than is because you can't have an absolute value. It just doesn't work, because you can't have an absolute value that's greater than -3, because then -2 wouldn't work either. So I mean, if you have a negative number, you can't really do anything to graph. So the answer you would just put is, there are no real numbers, or yeah, just do that. Yeah, we'll put that. Or you can put no solution or no real numbers. So whenever you get an absolute value inequality that equals a negative, or not equals, but is in relation to a negative number, the answer is going to be no solution, or you can put no real numbers. All right, and that's what you do for that. That's it for this lesson. This is pretty easy. So that's it. If you have any questions, let me know on Moodle.